Now we have an idea of how our application should roughly look like. Which data are we going to work with? Well, there are two main entities we heard over and over again in the last lectures. We have users in this application, and of course we have places. Now it's up to you which exact data you want to have on your user model and which exact data you want to have stored in your places. For me, in this demo application I came up with, I want to have users who have 4 key fields or attributes. Every user should have a name, an email address, a password, and also an image. Now, name and image are optional. We'll definitely need email and password in order to implement authentication, which of course requires an email-password combination. Now, for the places, it's also up to you, but there I want to have a title and a description for every place, a human readable address, so basically street name, city name, a location, which is a pair of coordinates, latitude and longitude, and also an image. Now, besides these two standalone entities, it's important to understand that of course they are related. Every user can create multiple places and therefore owns multiple places. And on the other hand, every place belongs to exactly one user. So implementing this relation and updating it correctly will also be a part of the application we're going to build. So we know about our data and how the front end should look like. Before we plan the different routes we want to have on the front end and which pages we need there, let's have a look at the back end. Which API endpoints will we probably need there? Well, since we have two main data models here, user and place, I got two main endpoint areas. Let's say we want to accept requests which reach our backend domain.com/API/users, and then there are a couple of specific routes which all start with API users, specifically /nothing. If a GET request reaches our backend domain/API/users/nothing else, then I want to return a list of all users. We'll need that for the page where we display all users and the number of places they created. If we send a post request to /API/users/signup, then I expect to have data attached which allows us to create a new user, and then after this creation succeeded, also automatically log the user in. And you will learn what logging users in means in the context of a Mern app in the authentication module. When we send a post request to /login, we'll just log the user in. So I expect to have a password and email attached to that request. And then we'll skip the creation part because we assume this user already was created. We just try to log the user in. So these are our user related routes. But of course, we also have places. So let's say for requests which reach our domain /API/places/user/UID, if that's a GET request, then I want to retrieve a list of all places for that given user ID. So the idea here simply is that we are able to get all the specific places a user created. If we get a GET request to just API/places/someplace_ID, then I want to get that specific place by that ID. And important, both UID and PID, which have this colon in front of them, are dynamic segments. So what exactly is part of the URL here is up to the front end. This will be interpreted as a user ID or a place ID though. Now, if we send a post request to just API/places/nothing, then I want to create a new place and I expect that the data which is needed to create a new place is attached to that request. If we send a patch request to /API/places/someplace_ID, then we want to update that place by its ID. This request will carry data in its request body as well. It needs to carry the data which we need for updating the place, namely the new title and the new description. And of course, updating is nice, but sometimes we also want to delete a place, and therefore I also want to have a delete route where we accept a delete request targeted at API/places/someplace_ID, which will, well, delete that place by its ID. These are the endpoints we need. We have all the CRUD operations in there, we have authentication in there, and we will build them out step by step throughout this course. Now let's have a look at the front end. We already sketched it out, but now let's plan the specific page components we need there.